Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhelpt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Happy Wednesday, Huskers fans. We're in the midst of baseball, softball, and basketball seasons, but the Huskers volleyball announced their dates and times for spring match this afternoon. Nebraska will return to Grand Island to host Kansas at the Heartland Event Center on Saturday, April 23rd. The match will begin at 5 p.m. with doors opening 90 minutes before first serve. Tickets will go on sale through eTix and the Heartland Event Center box office at 10 a.m. on Thursday, March 10th. It's important to note, no tickets will be sold through the Nebraska Athletics Tickets Office, so be sure to get your tickets from eTix or the Heartland Events Center box office. Nebraska thrower Alex Talley was named Big Ten Field Athlete of the Champions after the Big Ten Indoor Championships that took place in Geneva, Ohio this past weekend. Talley is the second straight Husker to earn this award, one that is voted on by the league's track and field head coaches, following Berger Lambrix Jr., who won the same award last season. Talley won a silver medal in shot put with a throw of 64 and 1 1/4, and won a weight throw title with a toss of 72-3. He enters this year's NCAA's Indoor Championships ranked 9th nationally in both the shot put and weight throw events. And then junior jumps athlete Papai Glewulu and sophomore sprints and hurdles athlete Winsomi Harris were also recognized with Nebraska Sportsmanship Awards, rounding out a nice weekend for Huskers track and field. Nebraska's women's golf added to this week's award haul as senior golfer Megan Whitaker earned her first Big Ten Women's Golfer of the Week award after leading Nebraska to a runner-up finish at the Westbrook Spring Invitational earlier this week. The senior recorded a career-best 3-round score of 211 with a career-best tying score of 69 in the final round of competition. It's a big day for Big Ten women's hoops as their conference tournament kicked off this afternoon. Already final, Rutgers took down Penn State 75-50 as the Scarlet Knights move on to face Indiana tomorrow. And Huskers women's hoops just learned who their first opponent will be tomorrow as Illinois just finished off Wisconsin 75-66. Illinois had just one conference win all season, and it came against Wisconsin. So they rear their head again there to the Badgers as they'll meet the Huskers tomorrow, 25 minutes after the conclusion of the Northwestern Minnesota game. Our pregame coverage on the HRN begins at 7 p.m. Central. And men's Big Ten action tonight just underway. Indiana leads Rutgers 5-4. And then later tonight at 8, Minnesota and Maryland will get going on the hardwood. It's a loaded night of action in the men's top 25 as 18-11 Texas A&M is just underway against number 25 Alabama. 18th ranked UConn is up in Omaha to take on 19-10 Creighton at 7:30. Number 5 Auburn battles 17-12 Mississippi State at 8. And also at 8 p.m., 20-9 LSU travels to number 14 Arkansas. That's the ticker. My name is Tim Mulhelpt, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Into Creighton, it's in, it counts! NFL, mini alley-oop. Michael Keaton lobbed it up. Ravens jumped up and tapped it in, and a chance at the three-point play.
Burge gets to the ball, somehow lobs it to Walker for the Yunka-Dunka-Do, and Walker's got 9 points.
Yunka-Dunka-Do, I love it.
Bale brings it home. Gomez launches one to left. That is absolutely crushed, and it is gone. Nearly made it to the upper deck. Gomez just sends a rocket out of here. Gets the run right back at 6-3.
3-1 Huskers, bottom of the fifth. Zumo's 1-2, and Farrell swings and hammers it to left. A no-doubt grand slam for Farrell.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to our Wednesday show. Glad to have you with us here tonight. As Tim mentioned in the ticker, it's a lot of things happening. We've got a big show lined up for you. We're going to hear from the Big Ten's Freshman of the Year coming up here in a few minutes, Alexis Markowski. She earned that honor yesterday. The league announced a lot of their postseason honors just ahead of the tournament, which began today with the 2 play-in games. And the Huskers have now found out that they will be taking on the Fighting Illini tomorrow night in a game that will start sometime between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. Will be the final game of the day tomorrow from Indianapolis. So we'll hear from Alexis here in a little bit. Day number 2 of spring football was today. Huskers had a practice, no media availability after. Practice number 2 of 15. Jessica had a chance to catch up with Ramir Johnson earlier in the week. We'll talk to Ramir coming up at the top of hour number 2. Big weekend coming up here in Lincoln at PBA as Nebraska, first time as a member of the Big Ten, is going to host the Big Ten Wrestling Championships. We'll have head coach Mark Manning with us in the second hour to get a preview of that, what it means to Lincoln and Nebraska to host this thing. This is a terrific meet. Some of the best wrestlers in the country will be here this weekend. Should be a great atmosphere at PBA Saturday and Sunday. And we'll talk to Husker pitcher Cody Frank, who was named today as a starter for the Huskers' next round of games down in Arlington. Cody had come out of the bullpen the first 2 weekends. Will Bolt's going to insert him into the starting rotation, so we'll hear from Cody coming up in the second hour as well. But we start by taking you to Indianapolis. That's where Jessica is tonight. She traveled earlier today with the Husker women's team. What's the day been like? What have you been up to all day long?
Well, I got to say, my first time in Indianapolis, and it is an awesome city. I'm excited to be here. But yeah, we are at Marion University right now. I'm just in the hallway outside of the practice gym as the Huskers found out their opponent. You heard Tim say it in the ticker. It's going to be Illinois, and so they are going through practice right now. The team went and watched that game, the entire game, inside the field house earlier, and it's a nice venue. So can't wait to see as the week goes along and that thing fills up a little bit with Big Ten women's basketball fans. And yeah, flew in and got all settled in and went to the game, and now they are practicing and final preparations underway. They'll go back to the hotel tonight, and then they actually have 3 different times that they're playing basketball tomorrow. So they'll get up and go do a shoot around inside the field house just for about 30 minutes just to kind of get a feel of the court and the rims and all of that. And then they will go actually do a walk through, I think at the local YMCA here. And then they will head back to the court, and we will get underway for the late game coming up tomorrow night against Illinois.
Is there much around town? Can you tell that the tournament's going on? Indianapolis usually does a pretty good job of marketing that the tournament is happening. It's a huge basketball state. Have you noticed much in the way of kind of just recognition of the tournament actually starting?
Oh, absolutely. The Big Ten logo is all throughout the city. And you know what's cool is they line the streets with the Big Ten team names. And so there's like the Scarlet Knights Avenue or whatever. And so every team kind of has their own street name throughout downtown around the field house. And so, yeah, that's really neat. And again, the Big Ten logo is everywhere. What also I've forgot to mention, the Combine obviously is going on, and I actually talked to Jeremiah earlier. He's in town. He's in Indy as well, as he represents Austin Allen, who will be up tomorrow in the first kind of round of the Combine. And so yeah, I've seen some NFL people some NFL Network people that are staying at our hotel too. But they said throughout the week as we go, we'll see NFL people kind of walking all around. So the longer we stay, probably the more packed and crowded it'll become flooded with NFL personnel and teams and GMs and whatnot. So I'm excited to see how those guys do as well. A lot going on in Indy this week.
Absolutely. It's going to be fantastic. It's a busy town. That NFL takes that over this, and then you got the women's tournament this week, the men's tournament next week. It's going to be a really busy part of the town. Jessica, in Indianapolis with the Husker women's team, they're getting ready to play tomorrow night. They'll play the last game of the day. They may be a little bit surprised that it's not Wisconsin. That's a bit of an upset, wasn't it?
I mean, Greg, I got to be honest, like watching those teams, Nebraska is a far better team than both of those teams. And, you know, they're head and shoulders, and they should take care of business tomorrow. I mean, not that they're going in taking anybody lightly, but, you know, those teams at the bottom are pretty far, separated, I guess, than the teams at the top. And so it was kind of a battle between those two teams. And, it was tied in the first half, and then Illinois kind of got hot there and pulled away. But this team feels loose. I think they got a lot of confidence going in, winning 3 in a row, and they know that they should win this game tomorrow, and so they're coming in and they're focused, but they're also loose, which you always like to see come this time of year.
In the next segment, we're going to hear from Alexis, who was yesterday named, and rightfully so, the freshman of the year, also put on the second team all-conference thing along with Jazz Shelley. I'm really happy, Jessica, that both of those young ladies are being recognized. They've had tremendous years.
Absolutely. And I believe Jazz Shelley, wasn't she on the all-defensive team as well?
Was.
Which,
yep.
absolutely deserving. I mean, there's been a couple of times that I've been able to go into the locker room after big wins, Indiana and Michigan, those two games in particular that come to mind, and Coach Amy Williams talking, really praising the effort on the defensive end, and she singles out Jazz Shelley because a lot of times she's picking up the team's best player, the opponent's best player, and so she's able to really lock down on those. So that, that's deserving. I think a lot of people get caught up in what Jazz does, on the offensive end and how many points she scores and threes she knocks down and the no-look passes, but she is an excellent defender. And so, and I think obviously that's a big reason why she was on that second team, was not just because of what she does on the offensive end, but how she's become a lockdown defender and how she matches up a lot of times with the opponent's best players. So a lot of recognition for this team, and deservedly so. They got a lot of players that contribute. I mean, just look at these wins down the stretch. I mean, how many different players have been in double figures or right there around double figures? It's been a balanced effort all throughout the year, every single night, every single game. Seems like somebody new is the leading scorer, somebody else steps up, somebody else is the hero, kind of making the big plays when they need it. Alexis Markowski, obviously gets a lot of the recognition because of what she's done in racking up the weekly honors with the freshmen, the weekly freshman awards. But, this team has a lot of different pieces that can contribute. Look what Izzy Bourne's done here recently, stepping out, knocking down shots from the outside. I think she led the team in scoring the last time out against Northwestern. And so you have all these different pieces that can step up and be the leading scorer. And so kind of hard maybe to single out one person to be on the first team, as good as this team has been this year, because you have so many different players that contribute, and that's that's what makes this team so good, is that they do have so many pieces that work so well together.
You mentioned Izzy and Sam Hybe both got honorable mention league honors yesterday when those came out. Let's shift gears. Let's talk about the men, Jessica. This group has already found their way. What a win last night. First win over a ranked team since 2019. What an impressive performance. So impressive. And we talked about potentially maybe how big that win, at Penn State could be, just what it does for a team's confidence, what it does for morale to just get a win, what that can do for a team. And I think they came out and they looked really confident. They looked like, hey, we're coming out to win this thing. And from the start, they looked really good. Alonzo Verge, to me, was the big key, because he was, how many times he just had found the open player and then knocking down shots, is he can find them, but then you got to knock them down. But, he did such a good job of distributing and getting people involved early and, getting the confidence going and getting into a rhythm. And then we saw him take over and make some big plays at the rim and score it at the, when things were opening up. I was noticing how when, a couple times in the second half when he would drive, because of what C.J. Wilcher had done in the first half, and then you can't leave Bryce McGowan's, teams, they weren't even sinking in to help Verge off the drive. And so, and we've seen that he can get to the rim. So once, it just goes to show you what can happen when those players start knocking down shots from the outside. Then it really opens things up for Verge. And that's when he goes and gets things done at the rim and scoring. And that's the key to me is that he looked to pass first, and then that opened things up for his scoring. And that's really what made this team go. And ultimately, I think, led to the win last night. Double-double for Verge, 13 points, 11 assists. He had 9 assists at the half in that game. And Bryce continues to play great basketball, 26. Probably, don't you think, locked up the freshman of the year with that play last night?
I don't know how he couldn't, I mean, I felt like he deserved it, 3 weeks ago he should have been it. And so, absolutely, because if that's the head-to-head matchup of who else is in the conversation, he absolutely won the head-to-head matchup last night. So, I think that performance and a win on the road, I think he had to have locked it up last night.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned CJ. I thought he was tremendous, ended up with 15 points, a lot of those in the first half. He's been making shots for this team, and he's given them some offense off the bench. And it also looks to me like, Jessica, that Coach Hoiberg has shortened his bench a little bit. And maybe some of that is because Trey is now fully back in shape and he can play more minutes. They don't have to limit him. He played, he played 5 seconds shy of 32 minutes yesterday. So just to me, it seems to me like they're not maybe playing as many people and keeping that kind of core out there in the core more often.
Yeah, and Trey, there were so many times he's so aggressive on the defensive end and just wrecks so much havoc, and maybe doesn't always come up with a steal, but makes things so tough on teams. And so, that was just a complete team effort. And while we single out Verge and Wilcher and Bryce, I mean, it took everybody to get that win last night. And I think that rotation and they just were all. You could just tell how much confidence they had, everybody, and that's amazing what happens when the ball is going through the rim, what that does for the confidence. And and everybody was knocking down shots, and that's the key. This team is built off of 3-point shooting, and they've struggled at times, but look how dangerous of a team they are. And that's why you hear opposing coaches from Big Ten teams and the opponents week in and week out talk about how dangerous of a team Nebraska is, despite being at the bottom of the standings. It's a dangerous team because they do have the ability to shoot it like they did last night, where they can knock off teams like they did with Ohio State, a top-ranked opponent, a top 25 opponent on the road. That's their they have the capability of doing that night in and night out if they're hitting shots. And so it's why they're a scary team for opponents to face.
In our YouTube chat, Children of the Corn says, guys, what was the difference between last night and when they played the Buckeyes earlier in the year? Well, Children, they should have won that game too. That was the game Nebraska, I think, had a 5-point lead with like 30 seconds left. I believe it was Lat missed 2 free throws. The game ended up going overtime, and the Buckeyes won. So really, it's a good matchup. But I do get a sense, and we talked about this on Monday, that now that Trev came out with the announcement that Coach Hoiberg would be back, I think it's relieved some pressure. And I think that combined with getting Trey back in wholeness, I think that's kind of loosened them up to play their best basketball of the year. And I'll tell you, Jessica, they're going to be dangerous when they get to where you are next week in that tournament. I wouldn't want to play Nebraska right now if I'm one of those teams that they're going to play on Wednesday and Thursday.
No, and I bet you a bunch of these teams that, might be in their path don't want to play them either because of how they looked last night, because that's their potential. That is their potential. That's what I saw when I got to call play-by-play for Big Ten Plus earlier on in the season when they played Colorado. That's what that team looked like then, and that's what, we thought we might be able to see. They kind of, with Trey getting really hurt, got a little bit out of rhythm. They weren't knocking down shots, but now that they kind of put it all together, and it's funny that you called them children when you said, well, children. But I was laughing I think it's amazing what a win will do. And they were right there in so many games, and look what they did at Michigan and then came up short. And we heard Coach Hoiberg talk about just getting over the hump. Well, they found a way to get over the hump. And once you figure out how to do that, it's amazing. The lid can really come off. And so hopefully this continues. They can keep building off of this and get hot. And who knows what happens when you get to the tournament. NCAA tournament time, March Madness, you never know what could happen.
Yeah, and there'll be a handful for Wisconsin on Sunday. That's the last regular season game for the Huskers. I know the Badgers clinched a tie of the league title last night. They're going to want to win it outright. But here come the Huskers with a little bit of confidence behind them. It's going to be, I think, a fun game to follow on Sunday. That's a 1 o'clock game for the Husker men. That will wrap up their regular season. So Jessica's in Indy. The Husker women are there. They're practicing tonight. They'll play tomorrow night. Final game of the day. 4 games tomorrow on day number 2 of the Big Ten tournament. Huskers will play the last game of the day, and they now know it will be Illinois, who knocked off Wisconsin earlier today. The Illini had only won 1 regular season game in the league before today, and it was against Wisconsin. So they just are a bad matchup, apparently, for the Badgers. But Nebraska now knows their opponent for that next game. We're broadcasting from our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. A couple of hours ahead of us here on Sports Island. Lots of time for you to be a part of the show as well. 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. A lot more ahead on the show. Coming up next, Jessica will sit down with the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Alexis Markowski. That's coming up next.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home at woodhouse.com or one of our 19 dealerships, we've got something for everyone. From new stylish SUVs that blend comfort and capability, or a pre-owned truck packaged for durability and everyday functionality. When it's time to upgrade your drive, shop confidently with Woodhouse, serving customers and communities since 1975. This is Woodhouse.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Trafix Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
Zumos 1-2, and Farrell swings and hammers it to left. A no-doubt grand slam for Farrell. Get them rolling at Bolin. Nebraska softball faces Wichita State in its home opener tomorrow evening at beautiful Bolin Stadium. You can hear all the action beginning with pregame coverage at 4:50, first pitch at 5 on selected Husker Radio Network affiliates, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
This isn't the start. Before I got here, I started training. And before that, I did something to my back. But my first move was Athletico Physical Therapy. That's where I'd eventually end up. So why not start there? I mean, my therapist immediately found the source of my pain. These are the same physical therapists who work with elite marathon runners. So soon, I was back to running, but without pain. You got this.
It all starts at Athletico. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com.
Did you know that cigarette butts make up a large portion of microplastics in the ocean, which end up in 70% of seabirds and 30% of sea turtles? Bank of the West is helping to solve this problem by not financing big tobacco, proving that what a bank chooses not to finance can be just as important as what it does. Learn more about what we do and don't finance at bankofthewest.com/change. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections, when it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval.
The Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse Auto Family. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, I'm Jessica Coody and joined by the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Alexis Markowski. How does that sound?
It's really crazy, honestly. Like, coming into this year, I had really no idea how my game would translate to the college level, and I mean, I just couldn't have done it without the belief of my coaches and teammates, and it just is so crazy to me.
You were racking up the Big Ten Freshman of the Week awards, but when you got the news that you were the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, I mean, what was your reaction? I mean, how did you get the news, and how did it feel?
Yeah, I woke up pretty late today. I didn't have class, so like my phone was blowing up, and just to see it, I mean, like I watched the video, and I was just like had goosebumps, like all this hard work and dedication, and I put so much time into basketball, and for it to be recognized is just an amazing feeling.
You talked about not knowing how your game would translate. Why do you think your game did translate to this level?
I really feel like my dad, he was always my coach, he really prepared me to play at this level, and he just told me if you work hard and you believe in yourself, like you can do big things. And I think just the constant belief from him and my family and myself has really just helped me thrive.
And you mentioned your teammates too. I mean, just the way that this team is connected. I mean, how important has that been for you as a freshman to be able to take that step, to have teammates that trust in you and that get you the ball and believe in you to make those plays down low?
I mean, like being a freshman and coming into a new team, I mean, it's kind of a scary thing, and you don't know how it's all going to work out. But they were just so welcoming, and right from the get-go, they're like, Alexis, like, you're going to do big things here, like we believe in you. And just for them to just be like that as upperclassmen and to really embrace me in my game is something really special, and that's why this team is just such a fun team to be a part of. And I just really enjoy all these girls and the people here.
You right out of the gate, you were a big part of this team and had a big role, but then you moved into the starting lineup and you really took off in Big Ten play. What do you think really clicked for you there about midway through the season?
Yeah, I always feel like I kind of step up in the biggest of moments. Once I was given the opportunity, I knew that I was going to take full advantage of it, and it was Michigan. So, I mean, like, one of the best teams in the country you're going against, and my teammates were like, we believe in you, like, you've been prepared for this moment, like, you can do it. And for them to just say that and believe in me, and to get the opportunity to just go out there and play my game, I mean, just from that moment, I knew that I could be a really big part of this team, and just such a special group of girls.
And the physicality of it, too. I mean, you probably lead the country in and ones, too. I mean, just your ability to finish. It's one thing to put in the work and be prepared, but then to be able to, play through contact and finish through contact. What went into that?
I mean, I've always been just a stronger kid, and, I mean, there's just so much time and energy and people putting work into me and just past teammates and all of that it's all just worked out. And I mean, in the past, it wasn't always easy. I wasn't always very good, and just the constant belief in myself and just what I wanted to do, and for it to just all happen, and like, it's just crazy to me.
And then, the ability to shoot from outside. I know, we joke about it that your dad wasn't able to shoot like that, but, how has that come on for you, and why has that come on for you this year specifically?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm open on the three, I was just going to let it fly, and I've put a lot of work into my shot, and in high school I didn't really get to display that, but now I found opportunities and just times where my guards are just so good of attacking that five that I'm wide open on the three-point line. So, I go in and shoot every day before practice and do individuals, so I have the confidence in my shot. So,
what does that do for a team when you and Izzy's been knocking down some big-time threes as well, when you have your post players that can step out and knock threes down from the outside?
Yeah, I mean, you got to decide to either try to stop the guard or stay with your shooter, and I mean, that's a hard decision to make for defenses, but I mean, it's one reason why we do really good and are a really successful offensive team.
And then just being a hometown kid and just the response that you've gotten from Husker fans that, you dreamed of playing here, and for you to have this honor to be the best in the Big Ten and to represent Nebraska, what does that mean to you?
I mean, it's so crazy. I mean, at first I was not committed here, and then for them to just fully embrace me and everything about this team and program, and I mean, just the response on the media has been just so positive, and I mean, I'm really so thankful for them, and they really are the best fans in the country.
All right, let's talk Big Ten tournament. Your first experience. How excited are you to go up to Indianapolis and play in this tournament?
I'm so excited. I feel like I've watched this tournament for so long, and to finally go and be a part of it and go make some noise in Indy. I mean, we're just so excited for this opportunity.
What's going to be the message, the approach for this team? You don't know who you're going to play in the first round. You're going to go up there and watch the first game and see who you're going to play. But how do you guys approach this to stay ready to be able to go win a couple of games up there?
Just take one game at a time, you got to win to keep moving on. So we're just not going to take any opponent lightly. And, any side of the bracket is just going to be very interesting to see. And we're just really excited to get the opportunity, and we're going to try to go make some noise up in Indy.
Being that you guys strung 3 in a row there to close out the regular season, how good do you feel about the momentum and where this team is at heading into the postseason?
I'm so excited. This team is really special, and I think we can make some noise in Indy and in the NCAA tournament. So we're kind of the underdogs, and I love that because you're kind of like that on the rise team. So I'm just excited to see what we're gonna go do.
You keep talking about how this team is so special, and I think people can see it when they watch you guys, and everybody talks about it. But why is this team so special? Why has this been such a special team to be a part of?
I think the culture here is really where it all started. Our motto this year is compete and connect, and this summer we really took that competitive fire and the connect part very seriously. I'm friends with every single person on this team. We had an off day yesterday. We're all hanging out. That's just how this team is. And I also think it's a very special group because we're all very unselfish. And on a lot of teams and programs, you don't see that. And here, that's how it is. And I just love being a part of this team, and I love these girls.
It's amazing. So you talk about just taking it one game at a time, but regardless of not knowing the matchup, what's kind of the key on the court for you guys to be able to go win the first game before you can look to game 2?
It really just is how we're going to play. We just need to go out there and work together and just play how we know how to play, and that's all we got to do.
And then just as a young kid that plays basketball, you dream about playing in March Madness. Here you are getting to play in March Madness. How exciting is that?
It's so exciting. I still can't even wrap my head around it, and I feel like when I get there and see it all, it's just going to be unreal. And it just is such a special thing. Everything I feel like in my past basketball life, it's just been leading up to this moment, and I just can't wait.
Alexis, congratulations, Big Ten Freshman of the Year, and best of luck this week.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to step aside for a quick break here on Sports Nightly. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th. Play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is double. Don't miss it. Cash Blast playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
At Subaru, they love building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The redesigned 2021 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. An upgrade in horsepower means you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Visit DeTow Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or at DeTowSubaru.com. Upgraded horsepower available on select models.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Sumos 1-2, and Farrell swings and hammers it to left. A no-doubt grand slam for Farrell.
Get 'em rolling at Bolin. Nebraska softball faces Wichita State in its home opener tomorrow evening at beautiful Bolin Stadium. You can hear all the action beginning with pregame coverage at 4:50, first pitch at 5 on selected Husker Radio Network affiliates, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
Hey Husker fans, it's that time of year again. Don't miss your chance to get a first look at this year's Husker football team. Tickets are on sale right now for the annual Red and White Spring Game on Saturday, April 9th. We need you to help pack Memorial Stadium. To secure your tickets or for more information, visit Huskers.com/tickets or call the Husker Ticket Office at 402-472-3111. Go Big Red.
Rise above the sea of sameness and shop the Lincoln Corsair at Woodhouse Lincoln, the Omaha Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer. The Lincoln Corsair has seating for 5 and integrated technology features that deliver the functionality you need. With an expressive aesthetic and luxurious interior, the Lincoln Corsair is quiet luxury redefined. Visit us in store off 144th and Giles Road at Woodhouse Place or online at woodhouselincoln.com.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul. Not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? Well, they're even longer term than your sister's piano recital at church that time you drank a whole big cup of soda right before you left home and insisted to your mom that you didn't have to use the bathroom. We're talking that long-term.
Hi, it's Nick Renna with Dakota Mac. Call me at 308-380-7564 to learn about our competitive 30-year fixed rates on ag real estate loans.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance. Buy online at woodhouse.com. Greg Sharpe back inside of our Acres Broadcast Center. Jessica Coody with us in Indianapolis. She's there with the Husker women's team that will begin their trek through the Big Ten tournament tomorrow night. They will play the final game of the day. 4 games tomorrow. It starts at 10:30 in the morning. There'll be a morning session and then a night session. Huskers play the final game of the night session where they will match up with the Fighting Illini, who knocked off the 11-seeded Wisconsin Badgers about an hour ago. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. Jessica, you mentioned that the Combine is going on in Indy. Started today. 4 Huskers there. Who do you of the 4? Who do you think tests the best in the next couple of days?
I mean, it's hard not to say Cam Jurgens. I think he's going to wow with his 40. I think he's going to, probably do well on the bench press and all those kinds of drills that go into it. We just heard how over and over again how big of a freak athlete he is. And I've asked so many players that have played with him that they fully believe that he will have the fastest 40 time of any offensive lineman in this entire draft. And so it'll be fun to see if how he stacks up with all those. I'm glad he got a combine invite because I know he was a late addition, but I'm glad he got the opportunity because it's going to be fun to see what numbers he puts up. I know Jeremiah is really excited. Austin Allen has been putting in a lot of work, as all the guys do leading up to this point, but they are expecting Austin Allen to do really well and perform really well, and he's up first. So it seems like it's about spaced out, right? So we have Austin tomorrow, then we'll have Cam Jurgens on Friday, and then do both JoJo and Cam Taylor-Britt go on Saturday? Are they together?
Yes. I think that's right.
Yeah. So I didn't know, I guess as JoJo, he's got to be testing with the defensive backs, not the linebackers, right?
That's right. And somebody was asking, how does it work? They they divvy it up by position through days, and so they group like the tight ends together, or the tight ends and wide receivers may go one day. So that's how they.
Yeah, I do think it's the tight ends and wide receivers, and
Yep.
then it's the running backs and offensive line, and then they'll move to the defense after that.
And I got to believe those 4 guys, Jessica, are going to just knock it out of the park in their one-on-one interviews with the teams. They all have to take the Wonderlic test. All those guys, I think, will score really well in all those different areas.
Absolutely. And I have a friend that's a scout, and have talked to him, and he's reached out to me about a few of these guys. And I'll tell you, a guy who's not at the combine who he's been really, really impressed with throughout this process is Ben Stilley.
Ooh.
So I think all these guys throughout their leading up to the actual performing part of it, which will be if Ben Stilley is doing well meeting with these teams, got to think a lot of people will be interested in him when he comes back for pro day. But for these guys at the combine, I think all of them absolutely have got to be impressive when they're doing those meetings.
And pro day coming up in a couple of weeks. What that means is a lot of the scouts come on campus, and guys who went to the combine can retest, or they can choose not to. And then some football players who don't get invited to the combine, it's their chance to go run the 40, run the shuttle drill, do the bench press, do all those different things that they put them through to the combine. So that'll be coming up here on campus in just a couple of weeks. It's their crack to get seen.
And if Cam Jurgens runs a really great 40 time at the combine, he probably won't run it at pro day, but if he doesn't run it as well, he might run it again at pro day. But usually if those guys put up good numbers at the combine, you won't see them doing much at pro day, but it's a lot of the guys that don't get invited to the combine, you'll see them going through all of the same kind of drills and stuff at pro day. They just, not everybody gets to go to the combine.
I wonder if you could sneak in there tomorrow. You probably
Hey,
have
so
to have
Nick
credentials.
Burkhart, Keith got Nick Burkhart a credential. So
Really?
Nick's going to get to go, but I don't know. I should have asked if I could get one and sneak in there. But
Jeremiah
yeah, it'd be fun
can't
to
help
see.
you out?
I know. I need to see what I can do to see if I can get in there and see if I can't go scope it out, because I've never been, and I think it'd be interesting to see kind of how it is. I'm sure it's just an absolute circus, but it'd be fun to see.
Yeah, the NFL Network almost just does wall-to-wall coverage of that thing. I can't imagine. I know people do. I wouldn't, but people sit there and watch that all day long. I can't do that, Jessica. I love football, but I can't sit there and watch guys run drills all day. Can't do it.
Me either. I'm out on that. I don't get all into it. I understand it's part of the process, and people get eat up with it, but it is not my cup of tea.
No, not
especially when there's all day basketball going on right now. I'm all in the basketball mode right now.
Absolutely. Well, maybe Jeremiah can keep us posted on how things are going as we make our way through that. And we wish all those four Huskers that are there the best of luck, because I know Husker Nation's really rooting for them and hoping they have wonderful pro careers and can go make some money playing the sport they all love to play. And those are good kids. All 4 of those, I call them kids. You're young men now, but they were all really fun to cover. And I know Husker fans really enjoyed rooting and cheering for those 4 guys that are there this week.
Yeah, some of those guys are pushing 30 almost.
Still
no, I'm
he
just
is.
kidding. I'm kidding. But no, I mean, they are absolutely. And they were, in my first year kind of getting to be around them. Those 4 were the 4 guys, that you mentioned. It's funny, Cam Jurgens is a guy that he really wanted to talk after losses. And so he didn't necessarily want to be the guy up there talking after wins, but he wanted to be the guy to be the voice and kind of take up for his teammates after losses, and all of them great guys that you asked me the other day about who's going to be the interview guy. All 4 of those guys were interview guys for me, so I'm excited to see how they do. And well, hopefully we can get Jeremiah on maybe next week and have him break it all down for us.
Well, he's a busy man. I don't know. We'll have to really get on his calendar early.
Yeah, I have to squeeze us into his busy schedule, I guess.
Does he hunt much this time of
in.
year? I don't think he hunts a lot right now.
No, I think he is going around to a bunch of different pro days and combines and schmoozing with the GMs and trying to get rubbing elbows with all the bigwigs in the NFL this week.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Question for you in the chat room. What are the Huskers playing for this weekend in your eyes? Obviously, you'd like to win the conference tournament title, but where do you see them falling in the big tournament that starts in a couple of weeks? What seed line, and could they improve their seed line if they do well here in Indy?
Yeah, so right now and pretty consistently, they've been a 7 seed in the NCAA tournament. And I do think, once the committee gets in there and starts breaking things down, they'll look and see maybe some of those teams. I think some of those 6 seeds have faltered a little bit here towards the end of the season. And you and I have talked a lot about how that committee loves a hot team, the team that's performing well at the end. And this is a team with 3 wins going into the postseason, hopefully 4. And then you get a chance to play Michigan, who is a team that this committee likes a lot. Right now I think Michigan's a 3 seed. And so if you knock off Michigan again, they'd already beat them once. And I think you could maybe potentially see them moving up to a 6 or 5 seed, depending on if they win a couple, 2 or 3 here in Indianapolis, and then seeing what the rest of the teams do in their other tournaments. There's automatic qualifiers, obviously, for conferences and for conference tournaments. But some of those teams that are, at large bids, where they're falling, and maybe they go and lose their first round game in their conference tournament, they bump down, we bump up. So I think maybe they could get to a 6-5 if they go on a pretty decent run here in Indy.
So, folks, the way the tournament lays out, tomorrow is Illinois, now that they beat Wisconsin today. That won't do much to help build the resume. They only won 1 league game during the year. But if Nebraska wins tomorrow night, we all expect that to happen, then they play Michigan again, a team that they really took behind the woodshed back in January and really whipped that team. That one would be a help to the resume, wouldn't it?
Yes, which, by the way, did you hear the Michigan coach saying that Nebraska was a bubble team?
Is that who said it? I heard somebody did. I didn't know who it was.
Yes,
wow.
It was the Michigan coach, which to me makes no sense because, number one, you'd want to be pumping up the conference. Number two, like you said, Nebraska took Michigan to the woodshed earlier this season.
Wow.
You would want them to look better, right? I mean, so Nebraska is absolutely not a bubble team. They are in no matter what. They are in the NCAA tournament. But I don't know what she was thinking, saying that maybe she was thinking the wrong team. Maybe she was thinking Northwestern. That's the only thing I can think of, because Northwestern is a bubble team right now. They are right there on the bubble. I think they're the first 4 in right now as the bracket sits right now. So I am hoping and believing that maybe she was thinking Northwestern and said Nebraska, because it makes no sense to me why she would say that.
That's kind of idiotic to say that. Nebraska is absolutely a lock to make the tournament. That's crazy talk right there. All right, need to take a break. 402-413-2400. That's the number to dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. If you do that, you're doing it on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Back with the final segment of Hour 1 next.
Huskers fans, it's time to plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Single game tickets are on sale now at huskers.com/Ireland. Start the 2022 season in the best way. Plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Buy your single game ticket today at huskers.com/Ireland.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Don't let the cold winter worry you. As Nebraska's leading supplier of propane, you can count on Sapp Brothers to keep your family warm this winter. You're like family. And your safety is the number one priority of Sap Brothers. When it comes to your propane needs, Sap Brothers has you covered. Visit www.sapbros.net/petroleum to find your local Sap Brothers propane expert. Celebrating 50 years of fueling America's heartland and welcoming guests, Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Get comfort in the extreme and shop the Lincoln Aviator at Woodhouse Lincoln, the Omaha Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer. The Lincoln Aviator has seating for 7 and performance features that deliver an elevated driving experience. With an accommodating interior and captivating exterior design, the Lincoln Aviator is quiet luxury redefined. Visit us in-store off 144th and Giles Road at Woodhouse Place or online at woodhouselincoln.com.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe in studio, Jessica Coody with us in Indianapolis, the site of the Big Ten women's tournament this week, the men's tournament next week. The Huskers will play tomorrow night, the final game of the day. Jessica, Tim had this in the ticker. Nebraska volleyball announcing today that they will play their spring match out in Grand Island at the Heartland Event Center. John Cook started doing this, 10, 12 years ago, taking their spring match away from Lincoln, outstate, to people that can see Husker volleyball that maybe can't get to the Devaney Center, don't have tickets to the Devaney Center. And by goodness, they sell this thing out every year. I think this is a really cool gesture that Coach Cook does.
Yeah, it's so awesome. I actually didn't know about it. Nick, who runs the social media for volleyball, I was with him when he put out the announcement today, and he was telling me a little bit about it and just how quickly tickets sell as well, just for this exhibition match up here in the spring. And so, look, fans are all across the state. And so to provide them an opportunity that might not be able to get to Lincoln as much, an opportunity to get to see Husker volleyball up close in person in the spring, what a cool gesture and opportunity for those fans and for the players to get to play in front of a different fan base or different, fans that might not always get to, come watch them play inside Devaney. So I think it's so cool and awesome opportunity, and not surprising that those tickets sell as quickly as they do.
April 23rd, folks, 5 o'clock in Grand Island. The tickets will not be sold through Huskers.com. This is going to go through the Heartland Event Center box office out there in GI. The tickets go on sale a week from tomorrow, 10 a.m., and with about 6,000 available, probably will go in a few hours. They'll sell that thing out. KU coming up to play them. That's the one spring match. Huskers currently.
And KU, that's a good team too.
Yeah.
So that's a team that normally makes the NCAA tournament. So it's not like it's going to be just a absolutely inferior opponent by any means. I mean, that'll be a fun matchup too.
Huskers will then sign autographs after the match, so they'll hang around and people can come up and get autographs of some of the stars of that team and some of the new waves. Kennedy Orr is going to be the new setter for that team, but Nicklin Hames will be there. Lexi Rodriguez obviously will be there. Huskers currently in the midst of their beach season. They're about to go to Hawaii. I was turned down on my request to accompany them to Hawaii. How about that?
Oh, that's funny. I was too.
Dang it.
I thought I was on that list.
Well, maybe next year. I don't know. We'll see. All right, stick around. We got another hour to go. We're going to hear from Ramir Johnson. Jessica caught up with him on Monday. Day practice 2 of Husker spring football was today. Going to talk to Mark Manning, previewing the Big Ten Wrestling Championships to be held at PBA this weekend. And Cody Frank, Husker pitcher, will join us next hour as well. He's going to start one of the games this week for the Big Red down in Arlington. 1 hour down, 1 to go. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home at woodhouse.com, one of our 19 dealerships, or a combination of both. It's that easy. Plus, offering the most wanted new makes and leading pre-owned models, your next vehicle is on the lot or on its way. Shop confidently with the Woodhouse team today. Serving customers and communities since 1975. This is Woodhouse.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th, play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is doubled. Don't miss it. Cash Blast playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The university has a new undergraduate business and law major. Students majoring in business and law are learning to use legal knowledge to better solve business challenges. They are also gaining skills in regulatory compliance, financial services, securities regulation, and corporate social responsibility. Upon graduation, they will boost the state's talent pool in these critical areas of expertise.
Inspired by the legendary coach Tom Osborne, Nebraska Athletics is proud to introduce the 255 collection. With the mission to connect style with Nebraska pride, 255 was designed with the fan in mind. With high quality at the forefront, 255 can be worn anywhere, from sporting events and business meetings to backyard get-togethers. No matter the occasion, 255 is about feeling confident, looking good, and celebrating the remarkable coaching career of Tom Osborne. Shop now at Huskers.com or participating retailers. For more information, visit Huskers.com/255.
Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhelpt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Happy Wednesday, Huskers fans. We're in the midst of baseball, softball, and basketball seasons, but Huskers volleyball announced their date and time for their spring match this afternoon. Nebraska will return to Grand Island to host Kansas at the Heartland Events Center on Saturday, April 23rd. The match will begin at 5 p.m. with doors opening 90 minutes before first serve. Tickets will go on sale through eTix and the Heartland Events Center box office at 10 a.m. on Thursday, March 10th. No tickets will be sold through the Nebraska Athletics Tickets Office, so be sure to get your tickets from, again, eTix or the Heartland Events Center box office. Capacity is about 6,000 in that event center, so be sure to get those tickets quick. Nebraska thrower Alex Talley was named the Big Ten Field Athlete of the Championships after the Big Ten Indoor Championships that took place in Geneva, Ohio this past weekend. Talley is the second straight Husker to earn the award, one that is voted on by the league's track and field head coaches, following Berger Lambrechts Jr., who won the same award for the Huskers in 2021. Talley won a silver medal in shot put with a throw of 64-1 and 1/4, and a weight throw title with a toss of 72-3. He enters this year's NCAA Indoor Championships ranked 9th nationally in both the shot put and weight throw events. Junior jump athlete Papai Glewulu and sophomore sprints hurdles athlete Winsomi Harris were also recognized with the Nebraska Sportsmanship Award. Nebraska women's golf added to this week's award haul as senior golfer Megan Whitaker earned her first Big Ten Women's Golfer of the Week award after leading Nebraska to a runner-up finish at the Westbrook Spring Invitational earlier this week. The senior recorded a career-best 3-round score of 211 with a career-best tying round score of 69 in the final round of competition. It's a huge day for basketball in the Big Ten on the women's side as their conference tournament kicked off today. 2 finals. Rutgers took down Penn State 75-50 as the Scarlet Knights move on to face Indiana tomorrow. And Huskers women's hoops first opponent at the tournament has been determined as Illinois took down Wisconsin 75-66. They'll meet the Huskers tomorrow 25 minutes after the conclusion of the Northwestern Minnesota game. Our pregame coverage on the HRN begins at 7 p.m. Central. And men's Big Ten action tonight, it's Rutgers at Indiana. They just got the second half started. It's 34-28 Indiana in that one. Then looking at later tonight, we'll see Minnesota and Maryland tip off at 8 p.m. Loaded night of action in the men's top 25. 18-11 Texas A&M is taking on number 25 Alabama, where it's 40-37 at half. Good close game there. 18th ranked UConn is up in Omaha to take on 19-10 Creighton. That one gets tipped off in just under half an hour's time. Number 5 Auburn battle 17-12 Mississippi State at 8. As well at 8, we'll see 20-9 LSU travel to take on number 14 Arkansas. That's the ticker. My name is Tim Mulhelpt, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Into Cravens, and it counts! NFL, mini alley-oop. Michael Keaton lobbed it up. Ravens jumped up and tapped it in, and a chance at the 3-point play.
Burge gets to the ball, somehow lobs it to Walker for the Yunka-Dunka-Doo, and Walker's got 9 points.
Yunka-Dunka-Doo, I love it.
Bale brings it home. Gomez launches one to left. That is absolutely crushed, and it is gone. Nearly made it to the upper deck. Gomez just sends a rocket out of here. Gets the run right back at 6-3.
3-1 Huskers, bottom of the 5th. Zumos 1-2, and Farrell swings and hammers it to left. A no-doubt grand slam for Farrell.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back, hour number 2 of our Wednesday edition of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. You want to be a part of the program, 402-413-2400. We're split up tonight. I'm inside the Acres Equipment Center Broadcast Center here in the East Stadium. Jessica is with the Husker women's team in Indianapolis. I hear basketballs in the background. I know there's no game. Are they at practice? Is that where you are?
Yeah, so we're at practice right now. We're at Marion University, and they are practicing lots of energy. I was going to stand in there for this segment, but it's pretty loud, so I didn't know if it would be too distracting. So I am just off to the side in a locker room area. But yeah, they've been practicing. They waited to practice, so we got on the plane this morning about 9 a.m. and flew in, had lunch, and they didn't practice today until they found out who they were going to play. So we all went to the field house and got to watch the Wisconsin-Illinois game, and they had their scouting sheets out that, I was talking to Tom, the assistant coach Tom here, and he was kind of telling me how it all works, and they have already, each assistant coach kind of has their own scout, and they've already kind of done the scouts for each team that they could potentially play from here on out. And so, the teams had a scouting sheet that they were referring to during the game, and then now they're attacking the scout. So I guess whoever was going to win would be the assistant coach to be directing practice here today, but it was Tom. Tom had the scout on Illinois. So they great energy, talked about it a little bit in the first hour, but confident, focused, but loose, which is what you kind of want to be going into this roundabout. Hey, I did want to mention, though, is listening to the Open there and all the highlight calls that were happening, and I'm just wondering if you're ever going to get to call a home run call this spring.
It's been really depressing. Huskers have hit three.
Ben's done a great job, but you haven't called one yet, right?
I know. I'm snake bit. Maybe that'll change this weekend. I got four games to change that. I hope that happens this weekend. So you're at a practice. Husker football had practice number 2 today of spring ball, 2 of 15. It will wrap up with the spring game on the 9th of April. No media availability after the practice today. They flooded the gates with people to talk to on Monday. Players, head coach Scott Frost met with the media. All the assistant coaches met with the media on Monday to talk. And one of the people that you corral was Ramir Johnson, who I was so happy for, Jessica, with his progress last fall. And boy, he got hurt late in the year. We missed him out there. The offense took a different look when he wasn't able to play, but you did have a chance to catch up with Ramir.
Yeah, Greg, I don't know which probably has more media here, at the Combine here this week or at Husker Media Day on Monday. I mean, it was just jam-packed up there in the press room. But, yeah, Ramir ended up emerging, and he was able to do so many different things. We saw him catch a few big passes, and he's so fast. And, it was at Minnesota, right? It was really a killer when he went down and was not available there with the concussion, and so it really hurt late in the season. But he's put on some weight, too. We were joking about Ty Robinson putting on some weight, but I think Ramir has too. He's pretty proud of that, and got a chance to talk with him about all things leading into spring football. Well, you look a little bigger. You put on some weight here during the preseason?
Yes, ma'am. Had to get working. It's the Big Ten, so we got to get bigger. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited.
How did you feel coming off, the end of the season and how big of a role you kind of were asked to do there at the end, going into this off season and the preseason workouts leading into spring ball? What did you take away from especially at the end of the season, how you were performing?
I thought my hard work paid off. I actually worked really hard last year, and I don't mind working hard, so I'm glad for everything paid off. I'm glad everything worked out as it did. For me, I'm just trying to take what I did last year and do 10 times more than that. That's like the main goal for me. So I just want to make more plays and help this team win more games.
Does it give you some confidence going into this season?
Yeah, 100%. I've been watching, since the offseason, I've watched a hell of film from every game, my favorite players, and just trying to study the game. I'm a student of the game, so I'm still learning. And I just want to make sure I'm like an expert by the time the season comes in so I can make more plays.
How did it feel to get back out there today? Was it a long time coming? Did it feel like you guys were ready to get in there? I know the workouts in January can be a grind.
Right now, it felt good. This time last year I was out. The year before that, COVID happened. So I'm just glad to say I got to a first day of practice of spring ball. So I'm excited.
What is kind of this first week like for a team? Kind of take us, for those that don't know, that haven't been in, no pads, right? What's kind of the goal here before you guys get the pads on?
Just to make sure we tighten up the plays and don't look sloppy out there. So when we do get the pads on, we out there running and moving, so we can just get things fast-paced moving.
What's it been like kind of getting to know Coach Applewhite and working with him?
He's a cool dude. It's like having an uncle out there. He's always going to be on you. He's going to praise you or, whatever. So I love having Coach Applewhite there. I'm excited to work with him this year.
You said you were kind of a student of the game, and with a new offense with Coach Whipple and whatnot being implemented, what goes into that for you so in that knowledge-wise you're ready to go as well?
Just a lot of studying what they did, what Coach Whipple did at Pitt, and just putting it together with my skill set and how he want to play me, and how I want to, show my skill sets along with his new play style and all that stuff.
Is it exciting for you, for someone that can do a lot of different things, to see some of the things, the wrinkles that he kind of throws into offenses?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to make plays, so wherever that is for me, wherever he thinks I should make plays at, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm excited to do it all.
When you guys go through a preseason, and I know that's it can be hard, and it really brings a team together. How did you see this team kind of come together during that time throughout January and leading up to getting out onto the field for the first time?
I think Matt drills help us. We had teams of groups, and we just work with people we never really worked with or people we never talked to, and I just felt us always together at the stadium kind of helped us like build this thing together and like get this vibe where it's like it's go time and it's do or nothing. So. We're excited for the season.
What about for you and being now kind of an older guy in that room and with some new faces that you're going to be working in as well as one of the older running backs? What role do you have in being kind of a leader in that room?
Right. I mean, for me, I just want to make sure all the guys just, out there giving it all they got and being competitors and make sure we elevate each other's games so we can be better for this team and the season coming up.
What about just moving forward in spring? What's kind of the goal for this offense? What do you guys want to accomplish, before you take the field for the spring game on April 9th?
You just want to make sure we show that it's a new improved offense. We got some fast guys. We want to make sure things look more smooth, clear, and like on point. That's probably the main thing for me.
Obviously, last year you're a guy that you got your time, you took advantage of your time, and it's going to be another battle, a lot of competition. How good is that though to have that kind of competition in a running back room?
Right, I mean it's very good. I love competition. It helps elevate each other's games, and it just put us to like another level we can't reach without having somebody next to pushing you to get to that point. So I'm excited for the competition. I'm excited for the guys in the room. I want to make sure we all get better, but at the same time we all go compete and show our games.
It's important to have more than one guy emerge, right? I mean, that an offense can rely on more than one guy in that room.
Yeah, it's a long season, especially for running backs. We go to the nicks and bruises, so it's always have like at least 5 guys ready. So if one man go down, the next man's up and he giving you his game. So I'm excited to see what we all can do.
Last thing, just you personally, you talked about the room, the offense, your personal goals. What do you want to accomplish here in the spring?
For me, it's to be better than 2021 Ramir. So once I know I'm better than 2020 Ramir, then I'm happy with that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Greg, how about him saying Coach Applewhite's kind of like an uncle out there?
When we talked to him, and I've not met him in person yet, I didn't get a chance to see him at that session the other day. I was really intrigued by him, and man, the early results is phenomenal. I can't wait to go spend some more time with him. I'm so happy for Ramir. You mentioned the Minnesota game. He gets concussed. Nebraska had to put some different people in there, and we had some foul-ups near the goal line. And you got to believe that if Ramir had been out there, that Nebraska might have scored that extra touchdown that might have made the difference in the game. So I think he's going to be a big part of this offense. I'm really glad you got a chance to talk to him, and I hope he has a big year.
Yeah, I do too. And just the different skill set, all the different things that he can do, and with Coach Whipple and, the different wrinkles within an offense. You heard me ask him about it, but, you got to think that it's got to be a nice weapon for Coach Whipple to work around when you have a running back that can catch the football and do a lot of different things. And is pass protecting is an older guy. I'm sure that's an area he's also been able to improve upon. But yeah, I was standing down there on the sideline, in the Minnesota game, and he absolutely was concussed, but you could tell he wanted to be out there, and never know what could have happened if he was available, because then you got some people in that situation that young and inexperienced in that role. But I'm glad that he got some experience, and Ramir, and he'll definitely be the leader of this group, as there's a lot of new faces and a lot of young talent that will be out there on the field this spring.
I'm told as Mark Whipple was going back through the games, he kept going, boy, number 14 kept showing up for me. Number 14 again making a play. Well, that's Amir Johnson, so happy for him.
I just feel like for offensive coordinators, it's like one of their most favorite things is when a running back can catch the ball, and you can do different things with running backs other than just hand them the ball. And Ramir is a guy that can be a really versatile player that you can do a lot of different things with.
Huskers will practice again on Saturday. That'll be practice 3. Practice 4 will be Monday. We will hear from defensive coordinator Eric Shenander after that Monday workout after practice 4, which will put them almost a third of the way through spring football practice. All right, we need to cut you loose. I know practice is wrapping up soon. You need to get on the bus. Enjoy tomorrow, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow night here on the program.
Yes, I'm excited. We have some fun interviews lined up for you, and we're working on a fun project with the team, giving them a little Indianapolis trivia, including a little Colts trivia with Trev Alberts. They didn't do well with it, but it's pretty funny, so stay tuned for that.
You know who else played in Indianapolis was Fred Hoiberg.
True, yeah. We should have asked that.
Yeah, remember the Pacers.
We should have asked about that as well, but we kept it to the Colts and Trev Alberts.
Well,
so
have fun.
It's pretty funny.
If you see Jeremiah, make him buy you lemonade, okay?
I will.
All right, Jessica Coody in Indianapolis covering the Husker women as they get ready to embark in their run through the Big Ten tournament tomorrow night. Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. All right, need to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk wrestling. Husker coach Mark Manning will be here. They're getting set to host the Big Ten Championships at PBA over the weekend. The mats are set out. There are 4 mats across the floor at PBA. It's going to be spectacular. The coach will join us next.
So, this date was really fun.
Yeah, thanks for dinner.
For sure. For sure. Not really sure why I'm playing with my keys. I literally took an Uber here.
Oh, me too.
Wow.
Can I
Wanna
ride
grab
you
a beer?
around?
Start the night out right. Because you can't drive drunk if you don't drive there. Decide to ride. This message is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber. Copyright 2022, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey Husker fans, it's that time of year again. Don't miss your chance to get a first look at this year's Husker football team. Tickets are on sale right now for the annual Red and White Spring Game on Saturday, April 9th. We need you to help pack Memorial Stadium. To secure your tickets or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call the Husker Ticket Office at 402-472-3111. Go Big Red.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home at woodhouse.com or one of our 19 dealerships, we've got something for everyone. From new stylish SUVs that blend comfort and capability, or a pre-owned truck packaged for durability and everyday functionality. When it's time to upgrade your drive, shop confidently with Woodhouse, serving customers and communities since 1975. This is Woodhouse.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
Here is a before winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, called J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
Is your business's data cabling outdated? Do you need help with fiber optic cabling projects? Give Kidwell a call. Kidwell doesn't just help you handle today's demands, they help you see beyond, making sure that every component works in unison to meet the demands of your growing business. Kidwell keeps your connections clearly labeled and organized, maximizes performance, and saves time when any maintenance or service is needed. Don't settle for patchwork quick fixes. Make Kidwell your technology partner. Visit KidwellInc.com. That's KidwellInc.com.
Hey Husker fans, this is Anne-Marie from the Nebraska Beef Council. Just like the Big Red wins on the court, you can win at the dinner table with great tasting beef. From steaks and roasts to ground beef and kebabs, there are countless ways to create a meal that will have your family cheering for more. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for easy beef recipes, cooking tips, and meal inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
Brought to you by Nebraska's beef producers and their beef checkoff.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Boy, do we have a big weekend coming up here in Lincoln as Nebraska will host the Big Ten Wrestling Championships, not at Devaney, but at PBA. And here to talk all about it, Husker wrestling coach Mark Manning. Your blood pressure's got to be just pumping getting ready for this week.
Yeah, we have to kind of quiet ourselves just getting ready for that. The excitement on Saturday and Sunday. It's it's a historic time for us to be able to host the Big Ten, our first time ever, and it's the granddaddy of them all as far as conference wrestling, Big Ten wrestling. I know someone pointed out to me recently that there's 2 weight classes where the seeds could go where guys, NCAA finalists, could meet at 2 different weight classes at 174 and at heavyweight, where they met the NCAA tournament finals last year, could meet in the semifinals. So that kind of shows how tough the conference is and, the competition within.
Well, nobody needs to tell you that because you've gone through the whole rigors of this league in the last 2 months. But let's focus on the championships themselves. This is a big deal for Lincoln, isn't it? All these people and the spectators coming to town.
Sure is. It's a great showcase for us to really showcase Husker wrestling, and then just University of Nebraska, what we're all about. And I know the Big Ten's really excited about coming to Lincoln, and it should be great for the fans. There's really no other place like PBA, and also just the Haymarket area for fans to really enjoy themselves in between rounds. And then, we've been blessed with great weather, so it's going to be a fun weekend.
Okay, let's look back at your year. I know that you'd rather have it'd be nice to have a better dual record than you do, but my goodness, you were in those against those top 2-3 teams in the country, right down to the final match.
Yeah, we were. We've had a lot of years where we finished really strong dual meet wise and not so well in the tournament. So we think we have a team that can compete, and it's all going to be said on Saturday and Sunday. But we have a lot of great individuals, and that's what you need at this time of the year. C.J. Redd, Ridge Lovett, Peyton Robb, Mikey Labarola, Taylor Venz, Eric Schultz, Christian Lance. You need those guys to really step up, and they're wrestling really well, and we're healthy, and so that's a big ingredient for success.
You just rattled off those guys that have been stars for you all year long. Heck, some for several years in this program. I want to start with Eric.
Yeah.
I think he's been phenomenal for you at 197. What kind of years he had in your eyes, and where's the top for him?
Yeah, really, Eric has been one of the pillars of our program is being consistent week in and week out, and Eric's the epitome of that. He He's consistent. He's consistent in his effort and his attitude, and then just, he's just brings pace to his wrestling. He brings heavy hand fight, and those guys just don't want to wrestle him, and so they try to limit the match, and Eric just picks it up, and he scores a lot of points late, which just shows his conditioning, his toughness, his want to, and so Eric's been just a great example for our team, and we think we have some other guys like that. Ridge wrestles like that a lot, and Mikey's really been wrestling well lately. So we just got to keep going like that, and I think Peyton Robb, can have a big tournament this weekend too.
Ridge, when we had a chance to talk to Ridge on the show a few weeks ago, when I watch him coach, I just see toughness from the minute he steps on the mat. What's it been like to coach him?
Yeah, he really brings the element that to our team. He just brings a toughness and an attitude that he's out there to kick your butt. He brings that attitude to say, hey, let's bring it on. It's me and you, and you love that as a coach, because that competitiveness rubs off on other guys on their team, and he's really had a big effect. And those are the type of guys you build great programs with. Guys like Ridge love it, because he just brings an element that not a lot of people have, and that competitive fire is awesome.
Let me drop down a class and talk about CJ. We wanted to talk to CJ, and he said he's just like, I'm just going to focus on wrestling. I don't want to talk to anybody. That probably doesn't surprise you. But this is a young guy that I think has potential to do some damage this weekend and at the NCAAs for you.
Absolutely. He was really close with Ironman from Iowa, wrestled him really, really tough, and CJ he's a guy that comes out in March. His best comes out in March, and that's what you want. You see, NCAA basketball teams guys rank, seventh, teams rank 7th or 8th, and then all of a sudden they appear in the Final 4 or Final 8, and that's CJ Red. He shows up in March. His focus has been really this week, and he's ready to go. He's got a super tough weight class with Nick Lee, returning national champion. Ironman, the Iowa kid, is returning Big Ten champion. So he has it all at his weight class, and to be the best, you got to beat the best. And so CJ knows what's in front of him, and he's really focused this week.
Mikey's also a 3 seed, right, this week in that 174 class. What kind of challenges await him?
Yeah, he's he's got the defending national champ on the other side, the Penn State guy, the Iowa guy, Mike Kimmer. He's been a steady performer, obviously, for Iowa for years. But Mikey has Taylor Moss on his side, Michigan guys, some other guys too, but one at a time. But Mikey can make a good run at this Big Ten championship this weekend. We need that. We need him to really step up, and he's ready to step up. I really feel so.
How do you feel about where Peyton Robb is right now? He's had some wonderful matches throughout the year.
Yep.
Where is he as we get into March here?
I think Peyton is one of those guys that's a little bit like our team. Peyton Robb's a guy it's been close. He's won some big matches for us, and then he's lost some really tight matches, and that have been big too. And so really, the Michigan match and then Iowa match, but he can do it, and we really like how he's been training the last couple of weeks. Just he feels better, his body feels better, and really like his where he's at.
Visiting again with Husker wrestling coach Mark Manning here on Sportside of the Big Ten Championships this weekend, Saturday, Sunday at Pinnacle Bank Arena, not the Devaney Center, but at PBA. That is going to be so special over there. Can't wait to see the atmosphere around that. You mentioned guys feeling well. That's one of the challenges you have. It's such a physical sport, and you have to go through the rigors of the league, but then you want them to be at their best in March. That's not easy to do. How do you feel like where you sit right now with this group going into these last couple of big meets?
Yeah, it's all about the mental frame of mind right now, and our guys are physically we're in good shape, and that's big. We're not fighting a lot of injuries, so that's a huge relief. But mentally, I like where our guys are. They're really super excited for this weekend, and that's part of managing success. Is you got to manage what's going to be Saturday, Sunday, the excitement, not to get too caught up in it, staying in the moment. making sure you're locked in with what you have to do, and not get caught up in other people's success or failure. And so really got to lock into what they're doing and stay in the moment. I really like how our mental stability is, and how they feel about things.
What have you noticed in the past with schools that host? Do they have trouble keeping their emotions in check, or do they ride the wave of emotion and the support in the stands?
Yeah, I've seen it both ways. Yeah, I've seen it both ways. And I think, I think this team, our guys will really ride the emotion of the fans. I really think it could be, hey, the 11th man right here. We have 10 weight classes. It's the 11th man. And I think, I think our guys are ready for that too. They love that. Even you got a glimpse of that. We had a great crowd with the Devaney with Iowa, and our guys really rose up to that challenge, and I see the same thing this weekend.
All right, not only are they going to see great wrestling all weekend long at PBA, but one of your coaches is going to get a little honor. What's this all about?
Tervel Delogdev will receive finally his Olympic bronze medal from 2012. And so, Greg, it's been a long time coming. A couple years ago, they announced that two of the Russian republics at his weight class tested positive in the Olympic Games in 2012. The guy that beat him out for the Olympic bronze medal tested positive, and another guy that he wrestled in the semifinals tested positive. And it's taken this long. And then the IOC is flying in, and USA Wrestling's flying in. They're going to honor Tervel with the Olympic bronze medalist from 2012.
That's fantastic.
So it's awesome news. Tervel's known for a couple years, but they had to take the medals away. They had to, I think those republics tried to fight it for a while. So that took a couple other years, and so it's been a long time coming, and well deserved for Tervel, he's a really great coach, and he's really fits great into our program at Nebraska.
I was going to say, he's meant a lot to this program, right? He's been really a big addition.
Absolutely. He's been wanting to coach with us for, 6-7 years, and his wife's from Gretna, and he wants to raise his kids here, and he's been great, and we've been friends with him all through the years when he's been on World Olympic teams with Jordan Burroughs and James Green. So pretty neat. Actually, James and Jordan both are going to be in town this weekend. Jordan is doing the broadcast for Big Ten Network.
Fantastic.
So those guys will be back.
Tell him he doesn't have to hide that he's a Husker on that thing. He can talk about being a Husker on that broadcast, right?
Absolutely, for sure.
Well, Coach, we always appreciate the time. I cannot wait. This is going to be the place is going to be electric for this thing, and I know your guys are ready to roll.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Greg.
There he is, Mark Manning with us here on Sports Night. Buckle up, put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We've got more of the show coming up next.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today we're tackling the issue of GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. GMOs may sound scary, but they're actually benefiting our environment and consumers. That's because GMO crops help solve specific problems like insects, food waste, and droughts. By selecting good traits from one plant or organism and adding them to another, farmers are safely using science to produce high-quality foods better than ever before. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
Momentum. It's building at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. With game-changing work in precision agriculture, nanoscience, and digital humanities. We're unlocking mysteries in brain research, solving the impossible with remote surgery using robots. And we're creating bold futures with world-leading research in early childhood education. We don't slow down, and we're not letting up. We are Nebraska.
Indy Ravens, and it counts! NFL, mini alley-oop. Michael Keaton lobbed it up. Ravens jumped up and kept it in, and a chance at the 3-point play.
Tomorrow, the Big Red begin their hunt for a conference title. Pre-game coverage of their first game against Illinois begins at 7 p.m. on the Huskers radio network. Tune in to your local affiliate or at huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red!
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today's topic, animal agriculture. There's been a lot of talk suggesting that giving up meat is good for the environment. However, livestock emissions only account for less than 4% of greenhouse gas emissions, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Also, by reducing meat in your diet, you're missing out on all sorts of beneficial nutrients like protein, iron, and zinc. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he's so cold. The furnace is out again. But wait, he sees an opening. SOS! SOS, he screams and calls 391-2336. SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer. Boy, he made the right call today as SOS is already on the way. SOS is your trustworthy company since 1950, and with Luxair, you get free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. Call 391-2336 or visit soshvac.com today.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
So swings at this one, hits it pretty well to left. Backing Porter Brown up. He's to the track, he's to the wall, and it is gone. Bryce Matthews.
Huskers baseball is back in Texas as they begin a busy weekend with 2 games this Friday. Game 1 against Northwestern State is set for 11 a.m. Central. Pre-game coverage begins at 10:30 a.m. Game 2 against UT Arlington begins at 3 with pregame at 2:30 p.m. Tune in to your local affiliate, huskers.com, or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red!
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne.
And I'm Coach Frost.
Statistics prove that youth who are mentored and receive support and guidance from a caring adult show measurable improvement in academic achievement, motivation to succeed, and hope.
Over the past 30 years, Teammates has served more than 43,000 youth, and right now there are more than 1,000 waiting for a Teammates mentor to visit with them once a week in school.
For more information on how you can help the Teammates Mentoring Program, please go to teammates.org, and thank you for supporting our youth.
Sponsored by Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash app.
We're back in our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe back with you inside of our Acres Broadcast Center. Husker baseball, disappointing start, 1-6 on the year, and we thought maybe we would see a bit of a shakeup with the starting rotation, and that has happened. Will Bold announced today that Cody Frank will start Game 1 of the series down in Arlington against Northwestern State on Friday. And the second game of the doubleheader on Friday is against UT Arlington, and Kyle Perry will get the ball for that one. And the Games 3 and 4 down there, TBA. So they have not announced starters for either one of those games. Cody's been terrific in both weekends, a long relief outing against Sam Houston and a very good outing against TCU, backing up Kyle Perry in the Friday night game, and he's being rewarded by being put into the rotation. I had a chance to catch up with Cody earlier today to talk about his pitching to this point. You've had 2 really good outings to start to the year. How do you assess the way you've pitched so far?
It's been going great. It's just being able to come in and give the team a chance and being able to stabilize out those games and kind of be a rock of coming in, stabilizing the game whenever things might not be going as good. That's all it's about, just being ready for when your name's called. So both outings gone great, and obviously I hope to continue doing that.
How much more comfortable are you now, year 2 in the program, kind of around the guys, know what the coaches expect out of you? Do you feel more settled?
Yeah, absolutely. Last year I came in and it's a whole new group, guys I don't know, being from different state, don't really know anyone here. So kind of came in trying to figure out my role and kind of fitting in with the group. But this year, having a year under the belt with a lot of these guys, it makes me feel way better just kind of having that foundation with them and that relationship.
Was there a moment last year where you go, okay, I belong here? Was there an out, an inning, an outing that you pitched, you go, I can do it at this level?
Yeah, it was mainly like all year, just having like those older guys like Schwelly and Joe and Hallmark. They did a really good job last year of kind of like taking in the new guys and making them feel welcomed. I know definitely last year at Illinois when I came in after Shea Shanneman, I threw that game and then Schwelly came in and later closed it. And he ended up getting the save for that game, and instead of keeping the ball, he actually handed it to me while we were shaking hands and said that I deserved it, and because it was my first collegiate win here. And when that happened, it added to that comfort level.
Jeff Cressy has said that you have kind of invented a pitch, a grip, a pitch. What's the deal?
Yeah, so the pitch name that we call it is the slider change. So basically what happened is nobody taught it to me. I taught it to myself when I was a little kid. I have very small hands, and when I was younger I would go to pitching lessons, and while I was there they would say, hey, let's throw a changeup, and it was a typical circle change, but every time I would throw it, it would slip out of my hand. I couldn't handle the grip. I didn't like it. So I was just a little curious kid, and I was like, what happens if I throw it like this? So I threw it, and it was really good, to say the least. And so I just kind of stuck with it. And ever since that day, that was my changeup, even though it wasn't like a regular changeup. And, you know, kind of ran and then dropped. It was more of a breaking ball. So I got to junior college, and I was throwing my first bullpen in front of my pitching coach there. And he goes, all right, throw a changeup. And I mean, at that point in my career, I'd thrown it my entire life, so it's more of like a joke of like, well, it's not really a changeup, but I call it my changeup. Here it goes. It's gonna break this way instead of a regular changeup. So then I threw it, and he like was very puzzled, and he looked at me. And he goes, "Throw that again. Throw it again." And he goes, "Show me how you hold that." So I show him. I tell him how I throw it, and he goes, okay, well, let's start working on throwing a regular changeup. And so ever since that day, it got coined as the slider change.
So when you're facing a righty, does it break away from the righty or down and in?
It'll break away, it's more like down, just more straight down. And then to a lefty, it'll go like into them, so like a back foot type pitch.
Very good. We're visiting Cody Frank here on Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network. Where's this team mentally? Tough start. You haven't had the success you've wanted to the first 2 weeks. Where's this group at as you look at your teammates?
I mean, obviously, it can be discouraging. You know, we put in all the work, and everyone wants to go undefeated. But unfortunately, the game of baseball is a game of failure, and sometimes it doesn't start off how you always want to. So we're facing a lot of adversity right now, and I think the team's definitely there mentally. We're ready to face the next challenge of this weekend, playing 2 back-to-back doubleheaders. Really looking forward to it, especially coming off that hard loss to TCU. I think most of the guys finally realized that's our brand of baseball. Like what Coach Bolt had been talking to us about, we've been playing a little more pretty rather than gritty, and that last game, I think it really came out.
How much confidence do you have in the guys behind you? And Max is sitting right over here. The coaches feel like, particularly the infield's got a chance to be an incredible group defensively. What are your thoughts about the defense behind you?
Oh, I love them, because for me, I'm not a big punch-out guy. I'm a big weak contact guy. So just having that confidence that Max or Bryce or Core Jackson or Colby or whoever it may be, E-Fry, is behind me, ready to make a play, ready to put their body on the line. like at Sam Houston, balls hit hard to the 4-hole and Core Jackson lays out, makes a diving play. It's just that extra confidence boost that you love to have as a pitcher, knowing that even if I do make a mistake, my defense is behind me to pick me up and make the play.
Long way to go, and I think that's what some fans need to be told, is be a little patient. We only had 2 weekends of this whole year. There's a lot of baseball left in there for this team.
Oh yeah, that's another thing Coach Bolt's been preaching to us, is that it's a 56-game season, and like I said, we're not starting off how we would like to, but it's a long road ahead. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and I'm going to take a page out of my junior college head coach's book, just to keep your fork, which basically means the best is yet to come. So yeah, right now we're facing our adversity and kind of getting a bad taste in our mouth to start the season, but long road ahead, and all we got to do is just keep our fork and keep putting in the preparation.
All right, it's been fun watching you pitch the first 2 weeks. Keep it rolling.
Thank you.
Cody Frank, who will start game 1 of the weekend for Nebraska. So he gets a chance to start. Thought this might be coming after 2 weekends of really erratic starting pitching with the Big Red. The only 2 starters named by Will Bolts, Cody for game 1, Kyle Perry game 2. Not naming starters at all for the Saturday doubleheader against Northwestern State and UT Arlington. All the action gets going at 11 a.m. Friday, 10:30 for pregame coverage here on HRN. Huskers softball set to have their home opener tomorrow. This is a schedule change. It was supposed to be Friday, but with the weather getting progressively worse over the weekend, they backed everything up a day. They'll face the Shockers of Wichita State tomorrow night at Bowlin Stadium, 5 o'clock. Then they'll play a pair of games on Friday. The Shockers again at 2:30, and then they'll face South Dakota State at around 5 o'clock, or whenever the game with the Shockers gets over. They'll get going with that, and then they'll wrap up the weekend on Saturday, 2:30 against the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State. All games broadcast live here on the network and Huskers.com and the app with Nate Rohr and Maddie Fowler-Burkhart for those games. So 4 games. Starts tomorrow. Going to be a little bit cooler tomorrow in Lincoln, but certainly playable. And then really nice day on Friday. Could be a little windy, but really nice, comfortable temperatures. So get out to Bowlin Stadium and support some Husker softball over the weekend. Husker baseball will have their home opener a week from Friday with the Dirt Bags of Long Beach State coming to Haymarket Park for a 3-game series. So the boys are about ready to get home and see some home cooking here for a while after 3 straight weekends down in the Lone Star State. Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, and it's the law. All right, need to take a break. Our final segment coming up. Still time if you want to be a part of the program, 402-413-2400. You can call or text. We're back to wrap up tonight's show next.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford Maverick pickup. And get after any adventure with deals on Ford Ranger. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th, play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is doubled. Don't miss it. Cash Blast, playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help us with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. J.D. Power ranked Shelter Insurance #1 in customer satisfaction among auto insurers in the Central Region and #1 in price.
See Agent Nick Voorhees or Jim Mowinkle in Gretna or Travis Hawk in Scottsbluff today.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Our Sports Sunday Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance and buy online at woodhouse.com. Greg Sharpe back with the final few minutes of our Wednesday night Sports Sunday. So let's bring it back to where we started. That's talking Big Ten Women's Tournament, which began today. The play-in game. You had 11 playing, 14. That was Wisconsin, Illinois. Illinois was a 14 seed. It only won one conference game. They beat the Badgers, so that's who Nebraska will play tomorrow night in the final game of day number 2 of the tournament. And also earlier today, the 13-seeded Rutgers Scarlet Knights beat Penn State, the number 12 seed, so Rutgers moves on into the next round. They will play tomorrow as well. So the Huskers will play. There are two midday games. First one starts at 10:30. Second one should start around 1. And then you have the night session, 5:30. And then somewhere, it depends on how quick the first game goes. It's 25 minutes after the conclusion of game 1. It will be Nebraska and Illinois. The winner of the Nebraska-Illinois matchup will play Michigan, who's the number 3 seed. That would be Friday night, same time, somewhere between 7:30 and 8 o'clock for that matchup. So that's the side of the bracket that Nebraska is looking at as they get into this tournament, and they get going tomorrow. Nebraska, the number 6 seed in this Big Ten tournament. Again, Huskers clearly in the NCAA tournament. Jessica told you earlier that it was Michigan's coach that said she thought Nebraska was a bubble team. I don't know what universe she's in, because Nebraska is not a bubble team. They are clearly in, probably on the 7 line for the NCAA tournament. And if they make a run, if they win 2 or 3 games in Indy, I think they can get maybe as high as a 5 seed for the NCAA tournament. So that's what they're playing for. Obviously, they want to try to win this tournament and cut down some nets on Sunday in Indianapolis, but they're also playing for a better seed in the NCAA tournament, which gets going in just a couple of weeks. And I would be remiss if I didn't kind of clip back and talk about what a terrific performance last night was for Fred Hoiberg and the Huskers. What a road trip. They go to Penn State on Sunday, drill the Nittany Lions by 23. 2 nights later in Columbus, they pick off 23rd-ranked Ohio State by 8, 78-70, a double-double for Alonzo Verge, 11 assists, 13 points. Another tremendous outing by Bryce McGowan, who I believe completely sewed up the Freshman of the Year honors, which those will be announced next week. But a really good road trip for the Huskers. The men will conclude their regular season on Sunday in Madison against the Wisconsin Badgers, who clinched at least a tie of the league title last night with a dramatic victory over Purdue. So men have one more regular season game before they go to Indy next week for the tournament. The women are already there and will play tomorrow night. So here's what we will do tomorrow. We will have a 1-hour Sports Sunday from 6 to 7. I'll actually be with the baseball team in Arlington, Texas. Jessica will be in the building, in the arena tomorrow night for the Big Ten tournament. So we'll get you caught up on all the day's headlines and previews and hear more from the women's team as they get ready to play Illinois tomorrow night. And I'll have an update on the baseball team and all the day's sports headlines headed your way tomorrow night on the program. And then it'll be a longer pregame show for women's basketball, but never fear. The Reverend Matt Coatney and Jeff Grease will certainly steer you through a longer pregame show tomorrow night. They'll probably even call the end of the game before the Huskers matchup between Northwestern and Minnesota. So they'll probably even have some added bonus play-by-play coming your way tomorrow night here on the Huskers Radio Network. That's going to put a wrap on tonight's show. Thanks to Jessica reporting live for us in Indianapolis. Andrew, who took off earlier, Sammy was here, and Tim's also been with me throughout the 2 hours. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy tomorrow. We'll talk to you from Arlington, Texas tomorrow night. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
United Healthcare believes small businesses are vital to our economy and an important part of our communities. Join United Healthcare in celebrating small businesses. I'm Rob Broomfield, United Healthcare of Nebraska's CEO and a graduate of the University of Nebraska. We want to recognize your small business with the Spotlight on Small Business Sweepstakes. Winners receive radio interviews, social media recognition, and more. To enter, visit huskers.com/spotlight. United Healthcare, proud partner of Husker Sports.
Rise above the sea of sameness and shop the Lincoln Corsair at Woodhouse Lincoln, the Omaha Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer. The Lincoln Corsair has seating for 5 and integrated technology features that deliver the functionality you need. With an expressive aesthetic and luxurious interior, the Lincoln Corsair is quiet luxury redefined. Visit us in store off 144th and Giles Road at Woodhouse Place or online at woodhouselincoln.com.
Here is a before winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, called J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul. Not to mention their injury list.